Hello, this is Alejandro Bratti and William Eiley from Unlock Clarity, and welcome to the Spanglish World Networks on Single TV channel 250. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. Where you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free and is available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today is very interesting. We have a very good discussion about this with William. We are going to be talking about the power of sharing, transforming lives around you. So the first part that we want to talk is something in that area with William, how he started to learn about this and why this is important even in our lives. So how are you, William?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I am doing well too. So I am happy today. I have been doing a lot of changes in the programs and everything, and I am happy with what is going to happen today. So in your story, let's start with your story a little bit with William about how you were before you started to understand all of this of sharing and why this is important. All of that, a little bit about your life before everything started to happen.
Mm. We discussed this earlier, and you didn't even go there. So, um, totally off guard. Dates right? Oh, never mind. What happened before? Um, Survival, realistically. Farm life, military, working for the bank, survival, comfortable existence, um, mostly unawakened. Um, and then there's getting stuck in that whole realm of I live here, this is normal. I'm
Mm.
sure I'm sure you've never actually experienced that one. Everybody's going, man, you're awesome. Nah, can't be that. It's interesting how we have the capacity to normalize everything that goes on in our lives if it goes on long enough. We just think it's normal. I mean, you were telling me that what for 30 years after you ate you had certain things happen and you just thought that was normal until someone said no, that's not really normal. And so I fall in the same category. I'm just as human as everyone else. And so um, one of the things that I've discovered early on when I first started Sunday Spirit Talks 3.5 years ago, I used to, and I still end with this. It's like, be the light you want to see in the world, be the change you want to see in the world. And
So
so,
in regards of that, you started to before you started to become the light. You started to working yourself. Like, okay, you have this mindset in like, okay, there is a lot of things that I need to change, and I understand that you started to even become a emotion called practitioner, and from there you started to find like a lot of things that you wanted to change in yourself. So tell us a little bit about that.
that is exactly where Energy Code Healing System was born from, was being, in order to become a certified emotion code practitioner through, I don't know what they're calling themselves now, but when I was, Dr. Nelson and his wife signed off, I had to work with 26 people and 4 animals. And by the time I got my certification, I was kind of tired working with people. So I invested a year and a half working on myself. And out of that was born the beginnings of the energy code and now essence retrieval and the cosmic placement grid. I went through uh, somewhere in the realm of 900 trapped emotions that I released over a year and a half to 2 year period. And I found lots of really cool things in the process. And I thought, well, this is interesting. Let me try it on a couple of friends. And I got some pretty amazing results with the new stuff. And so everything was born. And I've been working with people off and on ever since.
So you started to work with in yourself. I know that you're talking about a year and a half, but after that you continue working, or it was before that that you were working in yourself in order to, how much time it was that you have been working, like, okay, I need to change. I realize that something is wrong and it's not, this is not normal. Uh,
Oh, okay. All of the pre-work before I was even ready to find the energy code, or that mean the
exactly.
emotion code work. Oh my. Okay, so 2013 we broke ground and started building our house in 2008. Uh, and I had been doing work before that. Let's just say 10 years before 2012. It's like 2002 is when I really started working on waking up. And on my when I was 42 is actually when I experienced enlightenment, sitting on a tractor helping my dad rake hay.
And I know that there is something that happens always when we start to find, like, I need to change, and I start to fix myself, and that you suddenly like, okay, this is also missing and this is also missing, and suddenly you start to open the door for a million of things that you are working in yourself. I know it because it's the same with me. It's not just talking about you, but we are giving your your experience. But in my case, was exactly similar. Like, I go through, like, okay, I need to transform myself in order to start to help others, and start to. So in that process of maybe 8 to 9 years of you working in yourself, how was, you told us a little bit about starting to talk with others. What happened when you started to see that, oh, it's working in others? How did you feel? What started to happen?
It was nice. I thought, well, I might have a business here. I mean, I became an emotion code practitioner to start a business. That didn't work out so well. So I've got something better or something more complete, whatever you want to say. And uh, I did not have everything on board emotionally, mentally to actually have a business.
Mm.
Fortunately, I creators sent me a client who actually wanted to learn how to do it over a period of a couple of years, but won't learn how to do this. So um, all of the 8 steps, um, as they currently exist, we she was responsible for pushing me to get those into the physical. So um, and had a few clients here and there, and now creators like, okay, you're ready for more. Let's go.
Mm. And you started to work with people, and you started to feel like, okay, but really this is something that people need. Even you have a lot of self-doubt in that process of what is this okay or not. Is this really something that I can create a business? Why do you started to have those thoughts? Or it was because of what happened in the past, or what was it?
Yes, realistically, a lot of it's what happened in the past. The programs uh, that I built slash inherited from parents and friends and whomever way back when. Um, One of the things that was not practiced in my household was celebrating uh, accomplishments.
Mm.
It's simply a matter of, okay, we got that done. What's next? Because there's always a next on a farm.
Yeah, yeah. So suddenly it's like you realize, okay, there is something here. I want to work with myself. I People is liking what I am doing. What started to happen when you started to like, okay, let's test it, let's try it? What started to happen, and what you started to learn when you started to share with others?
That it worked with others as well as it worked for me, sometimes even better.
And that's something that we want to say to everyone that is listening now is like, okay, we believe that you need to transform yourself first before you start to transform others. But when you finally like you're in a place that you have started to like, okay, I am becoming a better person, you are going to start to find that when you start to share with others, you learn double of what you were becoming, before. So that's why talking about the power of sharing is very important, because you are thinking that, no, I don't have enough. Maybe you have thinking about a lot of things. But exactly how we started, like, be the light you want to see in the world, be the change you want to see in the world. Start by sharing and not keeping everything for yourself. Like, okay, nobody cares. I have to keep all of the things that I am learning because nobody, this is not important for others. I am the only person that is getting all of this. So all these ideas that sometimes we have in our heads, really what we started to see, and that's why we wanted to share the example of William, that what he did in the past and how it was. We was like, let's start to share, and when he started to realize, things started to go further and faster.
Yes, yeah, it was quite amazing. Um, and now it's it's that momentum for the avalanche down the mountain. There's
Mm.
no way to stop it now.
So let's start to talk about the action steps and the thing that we want to start to help people to understand. So the first thing that we want to help people to realize is, let's start to realize when people compliment you. What was happening when people was complimenting you, and how you started to realize that there was a problem there.
Oh, let's say for the last 20 years, when people would compliment me, I didn't really even notice.
Mm.
Love the Spanish comeback for anytime someone gets complimented. De nada, and nothing. It's nothing. And so that's like in my face of, oh yeah, we're programmed to just ignore compliments, and I was totally, that's there was no was sort of looking for no kudos, no acknowledgments, no anything when I did something. It's like, what's next? And so that's what I carried forward. And so until, oh, let's say the last year, um, I truly, even when it would creep into my consciousness of someone actually complimented me. Well, that's cool. What'd they say? I have no idea. I just remembered that they complimented me, which was weird. Um, and so now I'm actively able, because of me continuing to do my work, I can actually notice when someone gives me a compliment or tells me that I need to keep doing what I'm doing, which is what I experienced last Friday. And I actually heard the words and could remember that they told me that. And
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
And really, why we are talking about this action step, the first one, realize when people is complimenting you, because it's exactly what William is saying. We say like, nah, it's nothing, don't worry. It's like, yeah, it's fine. Eh, what you are doing with that, you are not taking like the reality of who you are. you are saying that you are not enough, so you start to move yourself to another place. So start to be with gratitude. That is not like, yeah, I am very humble, that's why I don't take anything from others. The reality is that you are not advancing, because that is going to help you, like, wow, this is something that, let me realize what are the things that people are saying, to start to understand that that's the need that they need. So that's why this first step is very important. If you don't accept compliments, if you don't accept celebrations from others, at the end you are going to stop growing and believing like who you really are. It's
Yes.
like, I don't believe in myself. That's why I have even a program talking about that, believing yourself. That's the first part of starting to believe in yourself, understanding that you are helping others and that you can take that from others. So from there, the next step is, okay, ask a trust friend for help to create a list for everything people is praising you or telling you, and why that is important according to what William.
When I went through this process myself more than once, it was very enlightening because the very things I thought were normal and of no value, these were the very things that people were saying, oh, this is awesome. We like this about you.
Yeah.
Total surprise.
And really, people is looking for your voice, and that's exactly what we want to say here. Is like, why you need to start to share, and the power of sharing is that people need your voice. And you are thinking that nobody cares. That is not true. There is a lot of people that is waiting for you to start to talk and start to say the thing that you need to say and everything. So that's it's really important.
I find it interesting that you're saying the exact same thing that I heard from multiple sources over a 15-year period. And because of that filter, because of that program that said, nah, that's crap. That's not true. Nobody needs to hear what you have to say. I can verify that is not true.
Mm,
But I
yeah.
went through that as well. I heard someone like Alejandro say, the world needs what you have, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, that's not true. That can't be true. I can't have anything that important to share. It's true.
No, and people and the world is waiting for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the third step is when you start to realize, I already know that people need to hear me. I already know that what people is saying about me. And I am not saying people like anyone. It can be friends, it can be a family, it can be the people that you trust around you, but then start to share with them the things that you already have. It's like, okay, let me hear this thing that I am learning, and you start to create the words and everything that you want to say about that. And suddenly you are going to start to see like, oh, but what is that? And they are going to start to question and ask you different things. And at that moment you start to grow, because it's like you have to learn how to create the things that you have in your head, that you have been learning maybe for years or decades, I don't know. Suddenly that starts to become something big for yourself.
And so then we come into the realm of superpowers.
Exactly.
And so I can verify the things that you believe are normal and you live here, this is normal. There's what's special about this. More than likely, the people around you see them as superpowers because you're just that good at them that you make it look easy and they try to do it and they can't. So, yeah,
And normally this is the first step. So normally, where you are having more difficulties and more resistance becomes your superpower. It's like those areas that you think like, no, nobody cares about this. I don't want to work about this. Those areas that you are thinking about that, it's because you are, it's so easy for you that that is your superpower, and that is going to help you to start to connect with others and start to do all the things, and start to this power of sharing, you know. And at that moment is exactly when you start to transform lives around you.
And a thing to consider as well is that sometimes our superpower is something that is labeled as a bad thing. For instance, my attention dialed to a higher dimension, also known as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is actually one of my superpowers
Hmm.
and the wonderful traits that come along with that. And so everyone has a superpower. Everyone has something that, I mean, I'm ambitiously lazy. That means I find the best way to do something in the quickest amount of time or the shortest amount of time.
Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening for us today. Next week, we are going to be talking about the art of knowing, three strategies to making better life decisions. So that is going to be very transforming for you. So be ready for next week at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We are going to 6:30 Eastern time. We are going to be here. So thank you all, and this show can also be heard on Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out the SpanglishWorld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you, William. Thank you all.
Bye.